You have to be the one to end that cycle. You have to be the one to end that cycle. And you may ask yourself, what cycle am I referring to? I'm referring to that toxic cycle that continues to repeat in your life. That toxic cycle that you continue to find yourself going in and circling in over and over and over. For instance, maybe you're in a relationship and you find yourself very unhappy. And the reason you're unhappy is because maybe your spouse or your significant other can't seem to be faithful. Maybe they're a serial cheater, right? And you continue to forgive them and you warn them over and over. You do this one more time, I'm gone. You do that one more time, I'm gone. And that's it. You set your boundaries. They continue to step all over your boundaries, and you continue to bend your own boundaries for them. And then you wonder why they repeat the same offense. You wonder why they cheat again. The reason why is because it's a cycle, and until you put an end to it, it's going to continue. If you realize that person can care less about your boundaries are very insignificant to them. They're going to continue the repeated behavior until they're forced to stop. And sad to say, many times it's you removing yourself from the situation. And this is just an example, but this may actually be a word for someone specifically. But also another thing, you're tired of running the rat race. You're tired of, working that same 9 to 5, that dead end job. You feel like you're a robot. You just wake up, your life is on repeat. You know that you're destined for greatness. You know that there's more out there for you. But yet you don't do anything to find it. You don't do anything to try and do research. You don't do anything to sit back and spend that alone time with God to analyze, what you were created for. What gifts has God given you? What are your God-given gifts and talents? What are your God-given gifts and talents? Because we all have some. We all have at least one. And if you seek God, God will reveal that to you. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what happened with my resolution. It's something been going on when I'm driving. I don't know, maybe because it's not as bright out here. I don't know. Anyhow. And these are just examples, but toxic cycles like that, if it's a cycle that you continue to find yourself in over and over and over again, you have to be the one to put an end to that cycle. You have the power within you to break that cycle. Some people may say that they have bad luck around a certain around a certain time of the year. They have bad luck, right? And I've heard someone say this, and I found that interesting. They would say, "Oh yeah, between these 3 months of the year, every year is when I have bad luck," and you can't tell them no different. Now, I would try to turn around and speak life into that area since I saw that they were speaking death. And I'll tell them, I say, no, that's not the case at all. You don't have bad luck. You don't have bad luck at all because you're speaking that thing into existence as power of life and death is in the tongue. If you continue to speak that out into the world, then you're continuing to create just that. So now all of a sudden, every year it appears that is true because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So if you feel that you're cursed and this happens to you every year, then it's going to happen until you do something to stop that. Now, if you having the same behavior, you making the same decisions over and over again leads to a specific outcome, right? And you want that outcome to be different. You tired of that outcome, and you know that outcome is not beneficial to you. It's only hindering you, your growth, your progress. Everything that you got going on in your life is being hindered by you making these certain set of decisions, right? By you doing these certain things, by you acting a certain way, by your actions and your decisions is causing this outcome that's hurting you essentially. So if this is the case and you want to stop the outcome from happening, you have to learn to stop the actions and the decisions and choices that you see clearly are causing these outcomes. So you have to stop the actions and the decisions and the choices that you see that are clearly causing these outcomes. And if you don't do that, you're going to continue to repeat the same cycle. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome. It's just not going to happen. Sometimes you may have found yourself asking yourself at one point in time or another, why does God allow me to keep going through the same thing? Or why do I keep attracting the same type of people? God will allow you to continue to bump your head until you discover a different route. If you see that this one route is running you into a dead end, you got to seek Him for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and seek a different route. You have to come to the realization of, hey, you know what? This is not working. Every time I do this, this happens. So let me try and go about it a different way. As long as you continue to fail the test, you will repeat the same cycle over and over and over again. God will put us through cycles to test us. He will allow us to go through cycles to test us in order to get us to learn a lesson. And until that lesson is learned, we will continue to repeat that same cycle. And instead of getting frustrated with the Lord or with the cycle itself, it's time to look for a solution. You know, many of us have problems and challenges that we face every day. And the sad part of it is, not many people look for solutions. Many people would just sit here and say, oh, you know what? Well, it is what it is. So, many people will sit here and say, oh, you know what? It is what it is. It will be what it will be. But, you have a part to play in that outcome. You have a vital part to play in creating that actual outcome by the decisions and the choices that you make. Goodness, this street is bumpy. My apologies, you guys. You have a huge part to play in that outcome by the choices and the decisions that you make in your life. Again, if you want to see different results, if you want a different outcome, you have to make different decisions. You have to make different choices. You have to learn how to move different. And if you don't know which way to move, you don't know which way to go, you don't know what choice to make, seek the Lord. Seek God for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and it is that you shall receive. Again, it is time to break those cycles, and you are going to be the one to break them. Because if you are watching this channel, 9 times out of 10, you are a generational curse breaker. You are that one in your bloodline that God called to come forth to break those generational curses, to break those toxic cycles. You have in you everything that it takes to do so, but you must utilize the gifts and talents that God has blessed you with, those that He has bestowed upon you. It's time to break those toxic cycles. So instead of complaining about it, instead of talking about it over and over and over, what you gonna do about it? It's time to break those cycles. Pray this quick message blesses someone and encourages someone. I love you all. God loves you all. God bless you all. Talk to you soon. Till next time. Have a blessed day, y'all.